Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home. We'll talk about Huda. We'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm back. You're back. We're back. Ramadan Pulse is back after a brief interruption in our regular scheduled programming. Of course, as you know, we launched our Share the Reward 2 campaign. It was a 6-hour telethon that actually ended up lasting past the Fajr prayer. It was wonderful. And of course, we wanted to thank everybody who was able to call in and contribute to our Share the Reward 2 telethon that we did the day before yesterday. But Ramadan Pulse is back. But I want to remind everybody who didn't get a chance to call in during Share the Reward 2 to please go and visit our webpage at www.huda.tv/share, and you can still make your contributions and help us spread this message of Islam all over the world. Now, let me give you the contact information for our program today. It's 002-0238-555-248 or 9. That's 002-0238-555-248 or 249. Please, you guys, give me a call. I want to hear those phones ringing. Tell me about Ramadan in your country. Wherever you are around the world, give us a call and let us know what you guys are doing for Ramadan and what you're doing in preparing for Eid, inshallah. Give me an email, pulse@huda.tv, pulse@huda.tv. You guys, I respond to those personally, inshallah. Of course, we have Facebook as well. Please support all the Facebook pages we have for every individual show, as well as the channel, Huda TV's Facebook page. Of course, that URL is on your screen now, facebook.com/huda.tv. You guys, I think we have 45,000 fans on Facebook. We should have like 45 million because we have so many viewers. So please, you guys, get on the Facebook page and press like, inshallah. Now, you guys, in this program, Ramadan's Pulse, I've been taking you along with my behind-the-scenes tour guide, Mohammed Tayal. I've been taking you guys all around this little globe, or I should say Huda TV has been taking you all around this little globe. We've taken you to Egypt, all around Africa, Europe, Asia, Denmark, UK, UAE, all around the world. I want you guys to visualize that you're in the first class of the Huda TV airplane. You have the flight attendant bringing you drinks and peanuts, and you're just enjoying seeing the whole entire world this Ramadan. Before we see the video, I want to give you guys some hints about which country we're going to see. Actually, I'm going to tell you what country we're going to. We're going to the United States of America. But there's 50 states, okay? So I want you guys to guess which state it is. This state is I'm going to give you a few hints before we go to the video, about a minute or two, okay? This state is the home state of Sheikh Yusuf Estes. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend, Sheikh Yusuf Estes, who was supposed to be my guest today, but he couldn't come to the studio for this program. We certainly hope that he's okay. This state rhymes, actually, with his name, Estes, okay? This state is known as the Lone Star State. Let me say that again. This state is known as the Lone Star State. This state is the home of George Bush the father, George Bush the son, and maybe George Bush the Holy Ghost. I don't know, but at least George Bush the father and George Bush the son. This state is the second largest state in America, just behind the state of Alaska, and it's about the size of France. Give you an idea of how big it is. This state, for you Americans who may know this, is located south of the Mason-Dixon line. This state is located south of the Mason-Dixon line and entered the Union, that is, became part of America, December 29th, 1845. And just a reminder, this was a slave state. This was a slave state. This shares a border with Mexico to the south, and it also has major cities that include Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas. This state also shares borders with other American states, Oklahoma in the north, Louisiana in the west, in the east, and New Mexico in the south. Without further ado, check out this video, you guys. Year when
all of the Muslims know of Ramadan, so all of the Muslims fast, and everyone comes together after fast for iftar, or everyone comes together to the masjid, to break fast, and then after perform a Taraweeh prayer. All of the families may invite another family over for a dinner, where everyone, during the dinner, everyone may exchange knowledge or exchange, stories. To me, and in my opinion, Ramadan in America is, it's not like America, Muslim country, but nevertheless, it is amazing.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا
Of course, we're talking about the great state of Texas. Well, at least the Texans say it's a great state, so it's known as the great state of Texas. Of course, as you saw in the beginning and the end, that's the flag of Texas. A lot of people might not know that in the United States, although America does have its own flag with the stars, the red, white, and blue, each state as well has its own flag, and that is the state of Texas. A lot of people don't know, and call me if I'm wrong about this, but Texas for some time was actually an independent country that became part of America on December 29th, 1845. You guys give me a call. The phone should be ringing off the hook. Please tell me about Ramadan in your country, especially today if you're in America or Texas in particular, because we're talking about Ramadan in Texas. But in any event, wherever you are, give us a call now. You guys know the phone number is 002-0238-555-248 or 249. You guys, now let me go into detail about the state of Texas. A lot of people may not know, but the Bush family, that's why I made a joke in the beginning, George Bush the father and George Bush the son, they are from Texas, very well known. In fact, I believe they're from somewhere outside of Austin. Anyways, of course, this is the second largest state, only behind Alaska. Now, Alaska is huge in itself. Many of you may not know that Alaska was purchased from Russia by the United States of America 100 or so years ago. It's a huge tract of land. Now, as you've seen the videos of San Antonio is a beautiful city. As you can see, the waterways and the waterfront and the beautiful nature. There's the waterway, as you see now, very well known, the Riverwalk. And it's absolutely beautiful, San Antonio. It has a lot of Spanish and Mexican history there as well, as does the entire West Coast part of the United States. Now, Texas is huge. Just to put this in comparison for you guys around the world, Texas is about the size of France. Yeah, Texas is about the size of France. And France is one of the largest countries in Europe, if not the largest country in continental Europe. So that goes to show you how big the United States is. Of course, it's the third largest country, and Texas is the second largest state in the United States. So put that in perspective. Of course, there's many, many, many Muslims in Texas as well. Of course, the very famous basketball player Hakeem Olajuwon, and pious Muslim, is from Texas, and he has a masjid, a mosque there. He lives now in Houston, Texas, where he played basketball for the Houston Rockets. So there's a large and diverse Muslim population in Houston and all around Texas, which is amazing. Of course, Ramadan is beautiful everywhere, even in the state of Texas. What did I say earlier, you guys, when I said Texas is located south of the Mason-Dixon line? What does that mean? The Mason-Dixon line was a line drawn from the east coast of the United States that separated basically the north from the south. As you know, the north was quote-unquote free state, where they didn't own African slaves. As we know, the history of America, a very black page in the history of America where people don't like to talk about it, and they don't even teach it in schools really, is that America was thriving off of slavery with slaves that were taken from West Africa and forced to work in the cotton fields and plantations in America, mostly in the South, in the southern United States. So the Mason-Dixon line is a line or a boundary that separated the North states were free states and the South, which were slave-owning states. Of course, this all resulted in the Civil War, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the resulting unification of America. In any event, the states from the South generally had slaves, and Texas, of course, was one of those states. And if you can believe, another sad thing in American history, when the American Constitution was written, in order to make a compromise between the North and the South states, they had written a law that said a black man was worth 3/5 of a white man. A black man is worth 3/5 of a white man, and this is a terrible thing, especially what a hypocrisy, especially coming from a country that espouses such thing as democracy and freedom and justice for all. But we know in Islam the truth about that stuff, and that we are truly all respect each other as human beings. In any event, we're talking about Ramadan in Texas. We want to focus on that. What are some other states that border Texas? Let me just give you some sort of a quick geography lesson. Of course, as a huge border with Mexico, which is a separate country to the south, a Spanish-speaking country separated by the Rio Grande River in some parts. So that's why in Texas you have a very strong Latin presence, Spanish-speaking presence, and culture there as well. Of course, to the east you have Louisiana. New Orleans, of course. This was very famous French culture there in New Orleans. Of course, you all remember Hurricane Katrina. This is in the southeast border of Texas because Texas is so big. In the north, you have desert, highlands and deserts, and lots of oil in the north border with Oklahoma. In the east, southeast, you have a more of an exotic kind of climate bordering Louisiana, lowlands, wetlands, riverways. As in the north, you have desert. So it goes to show you how big really Texas is. Of course, Texas is very famous for what sport? I want somebody to call me up right now and tell me Texans are famous for what sport. Give me a call, 0020238 555 248 or 249. They love this thing. It's very, very important to them. I'm not going to tell you guys until the end of the show which city or which sport I'm talking about. Let's talk about some of the cities in Texas. Of course, we talked about Houston, where there's a large and diverse Muslim population that has Muslims from all around the world, including Egypt, the Middle East, Africa, Nigeria in particular, all around the world, Pakistan. You can find, that's the beauty about Ramadan in Texas and Ramadan all around the world, in fact, is that you can find Muslims from all around the world. Same thing goes in Fort Worth, Dallas, metropolitan area. As we said, Houston, San Antonio, which is a beautiful city. We saw clips of that earlier with the riverfront, beautiful high-rise, and beautiful Spanish-American history in San Antonio as well. Don't forget Austin. Austin, ironically, Texas is considered to be a conservative state, which might bode well for most Muslims. However, Austin, they call it the liberal abode, so to speak, or enclave, the San Francisco of the South, so to speak. So Texas is a very interesting place. Of course, it's very big, like I said. It's big enough to be bigger than most countries. So you guys give me a call now at 0020238 555 248 or 249. We're going to take a quick break, you guys. I want you guys to get on the phone. Tell me about Ramadan in Texas, Ramadan in America, or Ramadan in your country. Don't miss Ramadan's Pulse. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If we didn't win, it's okay. We can still celebrate because they're from a lot of countries and they might be harder than us.
Healthy food. Well, basically today we're going to talk about salads, green salads. So everybody knows about salads, right? It's benefits for our health, to keep a healthy lifestyle, right? We should try to eat salads at least 5 times a day.
That's the first 2 things, and then the rest for the mental and the techniques will become, I will stay after a couple of years.
There are conditions that has to be set for that marriage to be valid. Wallahi, whomever does not follow the sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you will see them that they are on a path of error. Okay, so that's why Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ya Jabir, did you see her, Ya Jabir? He said, no. He said, go and see her. Go and look at her. Ya subhanallah al-azim. You are not only marrying her just to be your wife. She's your wife, she's your friend, she's your companion. She's going to be the mother of your children, inshaAllah. So this is something that we need to keep in mind, our dear viewers, and we should not be embarrassed of the truth. This is something that we need to know, so that way we don't fall into haram. Second of all, the approval of the bridegroom, the young man. Also, the approval of the young girl. That's her rights also. As I said, if the father says yes, I want you to marry this young man, and she says no, marriage becomes invalid.
Today you become man and wife, fulfilling the sunnah as way of life. Today you find serenity.
Welcome back to Ramadan's Pulse. I feel like a doctor on the pulse here, taking you guys' pulse, your heartbeat. You guys, before the break, I challenged you guys to tell me what sport is very famous in this great state of Texas. And I heard that we have a very special guest on the line with us. He is the host of Tech Talk, as well as the Philosophy of Fasting, airing every day this Ramadan. Of course, with Dr. Haytham Al-Haddad. He's my good friend, an English revert to Islam, and former Bollywood actor. We'll ask him about his Bollywood acting career once we get him on the line. Of course, I'm talking about Rafi Abdul Malik. Rafi, assalamu alaikum, brother. Are you there?
Walaikum salam, Malik. How are you?
Thank you so much for calling, brother. How are you?
Oh, I'm just doing great. How are you? How's everything?
Alhamdulillah, brother. Thank you for calling. Now, is it true? There's a lot of rumors going around, Rafi, ever since you hit the Hood TV screen. A lot of people want to know, is it true that you were a Bollywood movie star?
Well, I tried to hide that. I do try to hide that, Malik, but no, it's not true.
So before you became Muslim, you were not a Bollywood movie star?
No, not at all, not at all.
You can find anything on the internet these days, brother. I'm sorry to even bother you with that. Of course, you hosted Philosophy of Fasting with Dr. Haytham. How was that program, brother?
Oh, that was just perfect, Malik. That was just perfect with Dr. Haytham Al-Haddad.
Thank you so much, brother, for your call. But I want to tell you, do you have the answer to my question? I asked the viewers, do you guys know what sport is famous in Texas? Go ahead.
Of course, I do. They do try to play football, American football, but they can't play it as good as the UK people.
Brother, you know American football, they throw the ball and they tackle each other. That's the one, not your football.
Oh, but we still beat you. We still beat the Americans.
But you know what, Rafi? Over there in the UK, you have rugby, right?
Rugby, it's terrible.
We have football in Texas. Brother, have you been to the United States or been to Texas?
I haven't been to Texas, no. I should go. You should invite me one day, inshallah. We should go with QC Festus.
Brother Rafi, I certainly appreciate it, brother. Thank you for your call. You hit it right. I wish we had like an award. Maybe, you know what? If you can come out of the studio, maybe I'll give you this globe, maybe, because you got the question right that the Texans love American football. So maybe I can give you this globe as a gift.
Inshallah.
All right, brother. Thank you for your call. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you soon, brother.
You too. See you soon. Take care.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Take care. Bye-bye. You guys, that was our good friend, actually, Rafi Abdul Malik from Philosophy of Fasting, Tech Talk, as well as Bridges, if you remember that program as well. And he got it right. I asked the viewers, what is the most famous sport in Texas? In Texas, this is like their religion, actually, and most of the people there. I'm sorry to say it's true. They play this game, American football, Friday. They watch it on TV Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They even televise all this stuff all day long. It's really actually a shame that they watch it so much. But anyways, it's something that's well known in that state. Something that you might find interesting as well. In most of the United States, at least in California, where I come from, we call the morning meal breakfast, the middle meal lunch, and the meal at the end of the day dinner. Okay, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In Texas, and I wish someone could call in and correct me if I'm wrong from Texas, but in Texas they say breakfast, dinner, and supper. Breakfast, dinner, and supper. So that's a bit strange, a bit weird. Something that goes on, something that's related to Texas. Also, they're very famous, if you believe it or not, for domesticated bulls and cows. Yes, because bulls and cows, because it's a huge state with a lot of farms and a lot of open land. Of course, they're famous for cowboys. And that's well known, the cowboy hats, the cowboy belt buckles, the western cut shirts, and the Wrangler jeans with the expensive leather boots. That's why I was really, really happy and excited when I thought we might have Yusuf Esses with us, because he has a funny story. He told me before he came to Islam, he used to dress like this. He used to wear a cowboy hat, a western cut shirt, with the one with like the eagles on it, a big belt buckle, Wrangler jeans, and those leather cowboy boots. And after he became a Muslim, he went to his local masjid. And they said to him, brother, please don't dress like that. You're going to scare the people. So then he began to wear Middle Eastern, Pakistani, Indian, Asian subcontinent style clothing, and people began to claim, brother, you're not from the Middle East or South Asia. Why don't you go back to wearing what you were before? And it's a really funny story. It's amazing the way he tells it. But I'm sure everyone around the world is famous for knows that Texas is famous for the Wild Wild West and the cowboy stuff and all that. So that's all Texas. When you think about that, think of Texas, or the great state as it's known. Why is it called the Lone Star State? To be honest, I'm not quite sure. But these Texan people have a strong national identity to the point where some of them wanted to secede from the Union. Let me repeat that. They have such a strong identity, you can almost call it a national identity, that some of these Texan people wanted to secede from the Union. That is, they wanted to leave the Union that is the United States, or what I like to call the Nifty 50. So definitely Texas is the second biggest state in the United States. It's a huge area of land. It seems like a very interesting state. As you saw in the video, it's beautiful. Their flag, which you can see on the screen now, is sort of like the American flag, but it has one star and the same colors, red, white, and blue, as we see in the United States. Another piece of American history that people might find interesting is that the southern part of the United States is called the Confederacy. And at one point, they had wanted to form their own country. This Confederacy, as you're looking at pictures of Austin now, this Confederacy starts in Virginia, which is where Washington, D.C. is, all the way to Texas, and it's really a huge piece of land. The wisdom behind that was, or the reason, not wisdom, I should say, the industrialized North did not want slaves. In the South, they were focused on farming and plantation and agriculture. They wanted slaves, free labor from Africa. This was the root of the problem, among other problems as well. Of course, this resulted in the American Civil War and the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Some people say that that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves for moral reasons. Other people say no, not at all. Not at all. Some people say because there was a difference of opinion between the North and the South. As you know, the South wanted to be a collection of states to be in a loose union with a weak federal government and a strong decentralized government, giving power to each individual state. However, the industrialized and more technologically advanced North wanted a stronger federal government based in Washington, D.C., which is in between the North and the South, in the Middle East, so to speak, of the East Coast, and a weaker state governments. So this was the problem, actually, of a difference of philosophy in government, interestingly enough, not, so to speak, the slave issue at that time. But the state of Texas, although it's a relatively new state and doesn't have a long history, it has an old Islamic history. Actually, believe it or not, there's old Muslim communities there around New Mexico, a Yemeni community there. There are indigenous Native American Muslims, if you can believe that. There are indigenous Native American Muslims in the New Mexico, Texas area. In the New Mexico and Texas area, you should look at that. As Muslims, we should take pride in our history, and see that Muslims have spread everywhere across the world, have immigrated, including Texas. They have immigrated to Texas and have been there for some time amongst the Native Americans as well. You guys, this is the end of Ramadan's Pulse in Texas. Next episode, we're going to a very, very, very special country. Actually, we're going to this country. It's the best country, in my opinion, in the world. It's the best country in the world. These people are the best people. They're the kindest people. They're the most honest people. They're the smartest people. The men are very muscular and handsome. The women are very beautiful. They're the kindest people. You guys, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but because maybe I'm somehow related to this country. Yes, I'm somehow related to this country. All I'm going to say is, it's all Greek to me. Until next time, I leave you guys in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We'll talk about Huda, we'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home. We'll talk about Huda, we'll talk about our way. Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home.